Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Welcome to Board of Commissioners meeting this morning. Welcome everybody's here in the boardroom and everybody's out there virtual. After we go through the preliminaries this morning, we do have a closed session scheduled at 8 o'clock, so we'll go right into that at 8 o'clock on the closed session. And there will be a public comment period on the agenda items only before that. And there'll be a public comment at the end of the meeting also where you can address the board. And with that said, then I will lead this morning in prayer. And then Commissioner Barros will do the pledge of allegiance. And then we'll have a roll call by Deputy Clerk Fisher. Lord, we want to thank you for this day this morning. Thank you for being with Tuscola County this morning, Lord, and watching over this meeting and having us conduct ourselves as we should conduct ourselves for the people of Tuscola County, Lord. We realize that your presence is here and we will honor your presence. We want to thank you for that. Be with all the soldiers, Lord, that are out there overseas. They can't be with their families this morning, Lord. Just be with them, guide them, and bring them home safe, and be with our country, Lord. And watch over all the leaders of our country. And just watch over us, Lord, and just take care of all the people that are sick, Lord, and watch over them and just comfort the people, Lord. And we trust in your name you can do this, Lord, because you are the King. And we believe that, Lord. And with that, just be with us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. We will go with the roll call, please.
Commissioner Barrios? Here. Commissioner Bardwell?
Here.
Commissioner Vaughn?
Here.
Commissioner Lutz?
Here.
Commissioner Cook?
Here.
We have a quorum. You may proceed.
Thank you. Adoption of the agenda. Anybody got anything on the agenda they want to add to it? If not, we will take a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
Been moved by Commissioner Cook, supported by Commissioner Barros. Adopt the agenda as presented. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion has passed. Previous meeting minutes.
Chair, I make a motion to adopt the meeting minutes to the February 12th, 2026 regular meeting.
Support.
Been moved by Commissioner Cook, supported by Commissioner Lutz, to move to adopt the meeting minutes from February 12th, 2026 regular meeting. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is passed. Any brief public comment for the agenda items only? Anything that's on the agenda? Any public comments for what's on the agenda? On the agenda, sir? Then, yes, at the end of the meeting, then it's only time public comments not needed. Let the record show, ma'am, that public comment was offered for agenda items only, and we had no participants. And we'll move into the consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move to the consent agenda minutes and the consent agenda items on the February 23rd, 2026 Committee of the Whole meeting to be adopted.
I'll support that.
So moved by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Cook. Move to the consent agenda minutes and any consent agenda items from the February 23rd, 2026 Committee of the Whole meeting be adopted. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
It has been adopted. That takes us through consent agenda into new business. So new business, we'll take a motion to go into closed session.
Mr. Chair, I move that the Board of Commissioners meet in closed sessions under Section 8(1)(c) for the strategy and negotiation sessions connected with negotiations of collective bargaining agreement. The following individuals are allowed to attend this closed session: Amy Nasidis of Brown Kundrick, Eric Dibble, Shelley Lutz, Ian Lee, and Jody Fetting remotely with a roll call vote. And we're going to have
Yes, can we please update that
Yes.
to remove Ian Lee and add Tracy Violet?
Yeah, for Tracy Violet and, we're gonna have to do the clerk too, right? So,
No,
No,
Dodie
no,
Fetting will
she's
be
remote.
attending
oh,
remotely.
she's remotely, oh, okay, oh, okay. Yeah, the roll call vote.
Support.
Been moved by Commissioner Lutz, support by Commissioner Barrios. Move that the Board of Commissioners meet in closed session under section 8(1)(c) for strategy and negotiation session connected with the negotiation of collective bargaining agreement. The following individuals are allowed to attend the current session: Jamie Nusidis, LeBron Kendrick, Eric Dibble, Charlie Lutz, Tracy Violet, and Jody Fang remotely, and we'll do with a roll call vote.
Commissioner Barrios,
Yes.
Commissioner Bardwell,
Yes.
Commissioner Lutz.
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Commissioner Vaughn.
Yes. We're back into the Board of Commissioners meeting again, just my closed session. You know, that was, that,
I move to accept the February 13th, 2026 mediation proposal to resolve the remaining contract issues with the POAM 911 dispatchers.
Support.
been moved by Commissioner Cook, supported by Commissioner Luke, to move to accept the February 13th, 2026 mediated proposal to resolve the remaining contract issues with the POAM 911 dispenser unit. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion is passed. I'll give it to him. Okay. Well, that will go into mosquito abatement department, new hire.
Good morning.
Commissioners, I just have a request for you this morning to hire Josh Michaelis as a seasonal field technician. Josh should be filling our last available position this year for a field technician. Josh will begin at a starting pay rate of $14.85 an hour. And he would begin on March 30th, pending a background check and a physical.
Mr. Chair, I move to hire Josh. Help me with the last name.
Michaelis.
Nicholas.
That's a tough one.
And seasonal field technician starting at step 1 at the rate of $14.85 per hour for the 2026 mosquito season with a start date of March 30th, 2026. And the results of the background check and physical.
I'll support.
Been moved by Commissioner Cook, supported by Commissioner Barros. Move to hire John McLeish as a seasonal field technician, starting with step 1, the rate of pay of $14.85 per hour for the 2026 mosquito season. Start with a start date of March 3rd, 2026, pending the results of a background check and physical. That is the motion. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Number 3, the mosquito millage blue request.
Yes, this morning I just wanted to go over with you briefly, Commissioners, our upcoming mosquito abatement village. I wanted to, in your packet you were provided there, I just wanted to go over a few things with you. There's a sheet in there titled Current Services and Future. And I'll try to make all this as brief as I can for you, but I just wanted to kind of cover the actual services we provide and give you a little bit of cost analysis of what these services cost for a resident. At the top of that page, I just wanted to start with the just one residential mosquito control yard treatment provided by any private company or private business. Just one service is right between $100 and $300 just for one treatment. The average cost to each of our taxpayers or residents in the county for a mosquito yard control treatment, or excuse me, for all of the services listed below, runs between an average of $30 to $80 a year. So it's really an exceptional value for the services we provide. Some of those services include 4 residential adulticiding treatments a year for each resident that requests them. We also provide treatment for all the standing water throughout the county, as well as campgrounds or churches, golf courses, parks, sewage lagoons. We also treat private properties of any residential or any resident that would call and want that on request if they had any standing water in their yard. We provide roadside truck fogging, and we also provide roadside ditch treatment throughout the season. We provide the treatments of all the catch basins in the cities and the villages, yes, and villages. We have a tire recycling program in conjunction with Tuscola County Recycling Center. I'd like to thank Mike Miller and Beth for all they do to help us out with that. They do most of the work for this. They do all the scheduling and they just do a great job for us. I'd like to mention that in the past, we've been able to provide financial assistance for that, which has been around $12,000. This year, I was able to bump that up to $20,000. And there's some years that Mike's able to secure a grant. So some years we can get some help from Eagle with that tire recycling. But I really appreciate what they do and how they help us out. We also provide lab services regarding any detection of mosquito diseases. We do in-house testing. We also do testing through the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. We supply information regarding diseases and species and population counts to the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services as well. The CDC, upon requested, also we provide information to the Michigan Mosquito Control Association as well as the American Mosquito Control Association. We also provide representation in these groups that we're associated with, Michigan Mosquito Control and American Mosquito Control. I'd like to say that this is our 29th year for the program. It's a long time. I'm here to say to you that during that time, that this 29 years, we've never had to ask our residents for a millage increase. And I'm happy to say to you today, I'm not going to ask for one either. I don't want to be that guy. So I did, when I started as director at Mosquito Abatement, one of my goals was to create a fund balance that could help push us through this next millage cycle if our residents approve it. We have a lot of costs that are and projects that are coming up in our program, and I feel that the fund balance we have created will help us get through that. I think that it's going to benefit us. I know there's no crystal ball. There's no way to see the future. There's, as you know, everything's so expensive now. But I feel we have a really good plan now, and that fund balance is really going to help us. So some of the future projects we have or things that we want to accomplish over the next millage cycle, we want to increase and improve our treatments with GIS technology. That is already underway, as you know. We've got our tablets purchased, and Mary Ann's been working very hard to put them in place, and hopefully we're going to have all of those going this season. One thing that's very important that we want to do is to create a social media communication outlet for all of our residents, so they know our current locations as far as treatments throughout the county, when we're doing it, when we're going to be coming by their house, whether it be a roadside fogging. This is actually something that our residents have requested of us, and I'm fairly certain we can make this happen, whether it be through a website or a social media outlet. But they simply would like to know when we're coming by. They want to see us. They'd like to know when's a good time. Should I bring my pets in? When's a good time? Should I cover my flowers or my garden? And I think that's a really reasonable ask. I really do. The other mosquito districts, they do have something similar to this in place, and we'll be definitely getting with them to try and figure out what works best for us. But we're really excited about that. I hope we can make this happen, and I think our residents will really appreciate that. We're going to continue our community outreach as well as our educational programs with our schools. One big thing that's coming up is we're going to need to replace our Microsoft Access system. Access will still be there, but it will not be supported. That is going to be very costly for us to do. I'm going to get with Ian and hopefully he has some ideas for that to help us kind of integrate a new system in there. We're going to explore some drone technology. The other districts have gotten into using drones as far as treatments and surveillance. However, it is very expensive. As time goes on, technology sometimes tends to come down in some areas as far as cost, but it's something that I do think we should take a look at some point, even if we just use a drone for surveillance, trying to figure out which areas in the county are holding water during a certain time of the year. It would save a lot of boots on the ground for sure if we could do something like that. But we also want to continue replacing aging equipment, and we need to replace the roof on our office building at some point. I'm guessing within the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to need to get that done, and that's going to be a big expense for us as well. I'm hoping to possibly go with a metal roof at that time, and that way it'll match our service building out there as well. But so those are kind of in a nutshell all of the services we provide and what we'd like to do in the future. We have completed our language regarding our millage renewal proposal. I went over this with Erica last week, and Angie Daniels provided me some good numbers as well. This is for you to take a look at and see if this works for you. All of the language is identical as it was during the last millage in 2020. The only thing that's changed is the numbers there. Angie updated the numbers for me, as well as the year 2026 through 2031. If you have any questions regarding that, please let me know. If there's anything there that you feel may need to be changed or updated in any other sense, I'd be glad to take care of that.
Thanks for that.
That's all I've got for you.
All right.
I think that was enough, right? Thank you very much for your time.
I appreciate it, Larry. Any questions for everybody's there?
No, I think he's doing a great job.
Mr. Chair, I move that the ballot language as recommended by corporate counsel be to renew the mosquito abatement special purpose millage for 6 years period to be submitted to the county clerk for included on the August 2026 primary ballot for a public vote.
We have to read all.
I was gonna say, do we have to read the rest of that or not?
Yeah.
Yes, it should all be on there.
Okay. Tuscola County Mosquito Control and Abatement Renewal Proposal shall the previous voted increase in the tax limitation imposed under Article 6, under Section 6 of the Michigan Constitution on General Ad Valorem taxes within Tuscola County, Michigan, be renewed at a 0.6316 mils at 6.6316 for each $1,000 of taxable value for a period of 6 years from 2026 to 2031, inclusive to finance the control and abatement of mosquito in Tuscola County. If approved and levied in its entirety, the millage raises the estimate of $1,514,134 in the first calendar year after its approval. All revenue will be distributed only to Tuscola County and shall be exclusive use for mosquito control and abatement services to properties within Tuscola County. This is a renewal of a previous voter-approved authorization that will expire before the effective date of this authorization with a roll call vote.
I'll support that.
It's been moved by Commissioner Loon, supported by Commissioner Cook, to move that the ballot language as recommended by corporate council to renew the mosquito abatement special purpose millage for a 6-year period be submitted to the county clerk for inclusion on the August 2026 primary ballot for public vote. So the previous Tuscola County mosquito control and abatement renewal proposal shall the previous voted increase in tax limitation imposed under Article 6, Section 6, the Article
Article 9.
Article 9, Section 6 of the Michigan Constitution on the general and valorem taxes within Tuscola County, Michigan, be renewed at 0.6316 mils. 0.6316 per each 1,000 of tax provided for a period of 6 years. From 2026 to 2031, inclusive to finance and control the abatement of mosquitoes in Tuscola County. If approved and levied in its entirety, the millage raises an estimate of $1,514,134 in its first calendar year after its approval. All revenue will be dispersed only to Tuscola County and shall be exclusively used for mosquito control and abatement services proprietors within Tuscola County. This is a renewal of previous voter approved authorization that will expire before the effective date of this authorization. It will be a roll call vote. Any more discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Bardwell,
Yes.
Commissioner Luke,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrios,
Yes.
Commissioner Vaughn.
Yes. Number 4 in the new business, animal control vehicle replacement, Eric Cadillo.
Good morning. Tyler wanted to be here today. However, there was a large case, that him and his team were handling, so he asked me to, step in for him. As you know, the ProMaster van was totaled and we did receive $17,200 from our insurance company. So that added to his residual fund balance at the end of 25 of 15,000. And then his budgeted, fund balance for 26 gives him a decent fund balance of 45,000. So he would like to replace that van, but he'd like to do it with a used vehicle. And he did have the time so far to only look at one, so he does not have an exact vehicle. So I'm recommending a range for him. Obviously, he's trying to get the biggest bang for our buck. He's trying to find a used vehicle that has under a certain number of miles with a large enough box that he can use the dog box he already has, so he doesn't have an expense for that. So I'm recommending up to $30,000. That would still leave him a $15,000 fund balance. In addition to that, he is obviously doing his best to get it under 30,000. So the current one that he provided me was 23,000. So, but we don't know what he'll find as he's looking. And because it's a used vehicle, the policy does not require it to go out to bids because he's aware he cannot afford with his fund balance a new vehicle. So he's trying to use the funds he has available.
Any questions, for Eric?
The chair, I move to authorize the animal control director Tyler Ray to purchase a pre-owned truck for animal control using $17,200 in insurance proceeds from the total ProMaster van and fund balance for a total cost not to exceed $30,000.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Cook, supported by Commissioner Barrios. To move to authorize the Animal Control Director Tyler Ray to purchase a pre-owned truck for animal control using $17,200 in insurance proceeds from the total master van and fund balance for a total cost not to exceed $30,000. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved. Then move number 5. The resolution honoring Merritt Montgomery. We did that, we just got to place that on file, right?
That's correct.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the place on file resolution 2026-03, honoring Mary Montgomery for her dedicated years of service to the Tuscola County with a roll call vote.
Support.
So moved by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Barrios. To move and approve the place on the resolution 2026-03 honoring Mary Montgomery for dedicated years of service to Tuscola County by roll call vote.
Commissioner Lutz,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrios.
Yes.
Commissioner Bardwell,
Yes.
and Commissioner Vaughn.
Yes. Motion is approved. Move on to old business. Dispatch potential battle levy. So Steve Anderson.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Go over this and see what happens. Get used to me. All right, so I'm gonna lay a lot of information on you, I hope in a short period of time. If you have any questions, just jump in and ask, all right? So we're gonna do the dispatch. Oh, there we go. So just a little bit of history about Central Dispatch. They separated from the Sheriff's Department about 1997. And besides the Sheriff's Department, they're the only other 24/7, 365-day operation the county has. March of 2012, they switched to the state radio system, which is the MPS-CS system. We got off our own system. Obviously, that saved a lot of money for the county. They're responsible for dispatching 12 law enforcement agencies, 16 fire departments, and 4 ambulance services, including animal control, medical examiner, records, utilities, and whoever else they need to get a hold of. Currently, they're funding solely by the surcharge, which is $203 per line. And that brought in roughly $1.163 million in 2025. Oops. So some annual expenses, we just kind of took some of the highlights off this. We have that annual Motorola service contract, which you guys did in December for us. That was just over 21,000. That expires the end of this year. So I'm going to make the assumption that price is going to increase because everything else is going up, right? Equiture, which is the phone recording system, is $8,000 a year. In 2028, it will be $9,900 for the year because it needs to be done. And that price is locked in until 2032, fortunately. Clemis is our CAD software that we use. That's just under $7,000 a year. Intrado, which we think that contract expires at the end of the year, we think. And that's $8,700. ProQA is another software that we use. That's $4,100. CodeRed is the map notification system that we just renewed. We tried to get out of it, couldn't. So some other infrastructure that we have that we have a monthly or yearly service fee is that Mevo, which is that phone backup system that we bought. That's $5,000 a year for the next 4 years. I don't know what the price will be after that. NetSource One, which is for our phone system. That's $3,400 plus we have an $1,800 agreement for the firewall. And then the service on the generator that we just put in the last 2 years, which is $1,600 a year. And this is just the highlights. I'm not even talking about some of the utilities and stuff like that. Oops. So projects that we know that are coming up or most likely coming up next year, 2027, with our phone system that we have, which is part of that Great Lakes Bay Consortium, we have a $108,000 phone upgrade that we have to do. We don't have a choice. We have to spend that money. We've also talked about doing some security camera upgrades to moving off. Dispatch right now currently has their own cameras. This would put us on the county system with IT so they can support it. So that would be relatively inexpensive, but I think we still need to do that. There's probably some radio console upgrades that we're going to have to do to meet some federal requirements. We're looking at $135,000 for that. So the building itself, we need windows. The windows, the seals are all broken out of them. They're leaking. That's going to be $30,000 plus because it's security windows. The flooring and dispatch on the floor itself is old. It's the original flooring. It's a trip hazard. There's pieces that have been coming up. People have been tripping on it. And then the HVAC system, which does the heating and cooling for part of the building, Mike just told me that's probably going to need to be replaced soon as well. It's 20 years old, so that's probably another 20 grand. And then we haven't even talked about any of the communications equipment, such as radios for law enforcement, fire, EMS, and then pagers, which we're going to dive into those here in a minute. So some other projects, we have a backup center we put in the PSB building, but we haven't done anything with that. There isn't the funding to do anything with that at the moment. We recently met with Ray Page from the MPSCS. He's the Bay Regional Coordinator. He suggested that we add a 5th backup consulate. We replaced the 4th one, if you remember, around Christmas too. That was about $10,000. And the reason why he suggested that is since we went to the state radio system, the 4 were probably fine, but we have now since went to the state paging system. So he suggests that we put a 5th one in, so that would be strictly for paging. So to help eliminate any mistakes. And then the future is unknown. We don't know what else is coming. And obviously, this has all been a learning experience for everybody since November, so we're not really sure what else is coming. So radios. So if you'd like to take a look, I reached out to Great Page over the week, or yesterday actually. He sent me an inventory of all the radios that are currently on the state system that are registered or affiliated with Tuscola County. We're at 703. So of the 703, 491 of them are the aging XTS, XTL radios. So if you start leafing through those, that's what you're going to see. A lot of those. Those are the original radios from when we went into the system. The typical service life for a radio is 7 years. We're well beyond that 7 years. So, and the other issues is the MPSCS is no longer supporting those radios. You cannot reprogram those radios. They will not touch them. They actually want to push them off the system. The production on those radios ended in 2014. There's a 5-year service life on those after, and that expired in 2019, the end of the year 2019. So my thinking moving forward, just strictly for law enforcement, this is just me thinking, throwing this out here. So if we do mobile radios for just law enforcement, which would be the car radios, we would need roughly 55 radios. We would have to do the Apex 6500 because it has some of the encryption that we would need or features that we would need. Those units cost roughly total $7,650 a piece for a total of $420,000. And then conversely, we would have to do about 80 portable radios. Again, with that specific model, because of some of the features it has, you're looking at $8,200, $8,250 per radio for a total of $660,000. And again, if you look through that list, you can see very few agencies have put any money of their own into the radios. Obviously, we've done a lot with your guys' help with Homeland Security money, bought a lot of radios for law enforcement, but there's still a lot of the old radios out there. So again, my plan for fire and EMS is instead of buying them for one replacement, because there's no way we can afford to do that, is we would purchase 5 mobile radios for each agency. 3 of those would be a regular car radio, like what we'd be buying for law enforcement, and then 2 of those radios would be dual head radios. So it has 1 control unit and then 2 heads. One would be in a cab of the truck, and one's back at the pump panel on an engine. Obviously, those are a little bit different radio. If we do something similar to that for each of the departments, we would need just over $500,000. And then portables kind of do the same thing. we're not gonna be able to afford to do all the radios, obviously, but if we buy 5 portables for each agency, we would roughly need about 70 of them. Again, you're looking at just over half. So, doom and gloom, right? So the other issue that we have are pagers. So the county has to provide pagers to the fire departments for when there's calls. A lot of them are using phone apps, which do not actually meet the qualifications for notification. So when we bought the pagers back in 2019-ish, I think it was, we bought 336 of them. That's the breakdown of who got what. So I got a quote yesterday just to say, hey, how much is a pager? They're roughly about $700 a piece now. If we just did 5 pagers per agency, you're looking at $50,000. Because again, those pagers are under warranty, probably start dying soon, and that's on us. So you're probably thinking, well, what does that all add up to? There you go. About $2.5 million. And that's not counting everything. We have a tower inspection that we need to do. That's gonna cost money. I'm sure they're gonna find issues with that tower. That's gonna be additional expense. I don't know what that is. And who knows what else comes out of it.
Steve, when you talk about 5 units, to distribute,
Yep.
how many does that leave out there that are not updated if each unit gets
So that would
5?
get most. So you're talking about fire departments?
Yeah,
That would get most of them. Obviously, there's some departments that don't have 5 trucks. So we could probably move things around a little bit.
Chairman. So Steve,
Yes, sir.
if the millage goes through, we're looking at a little over $1 million here. You're looking at a $2 million.
Yeah. And like I said, that's not replacing every radio.
Right.
A lot of
So-
the radios that we have done, like the Apex 6000s, those we can continue to use. I'm
So
not
we-
replacing those.
So between the surcharge and the millage.
Yep.
Where are we at?
So if you look, you guys don't have this handle, I don't believe. So I will hand it. So this is what the village rates are and what the they will bring in every year. This was updated by Andy here. So it's the 3 to 3.5 to 4 and 4.5.
Let's do that.
And then this way out here, you can see this is what the number could bring in. So 3.5 or 0.35 would bring in 836,000. 0.4 would bring in 955, and 0.45 would be just over. And obviously, if we do this, like I've laid out, we would not do this all in one shot. Obviously, we would be spaced out over 4 years.
You mean the equipment?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. We would have to do the infrastructure, obviously, and dispatch first, and then we would do law enforcement, and fire would be last.
No, with this measure, because we still doing the surcharge on the phones also, right?
You'd have to.
How much does that?
It's under stream.
Yeah.
So which one?
Surcharge.
Surcharge.
So the surcharge just brought it in like 1.1 million.
Yeah.
2025. Yeah.
Okay.
I have.
I know it's right.
So here, this might help. So this is the 218 expense kind of revenue for the last. Back to 20.
So Steve, you think the revenue will go down in 26? Cause I mean, I seen all the way from 19 to 25, it's went down every year.
Well, I don't know. 25 seems like it went up. for the years past.
Well, in 25, it says we got 1.7. Am I reading that right?
This is the number.
Yeah, so right here, so we went
Oh,
from
I'm
here,
sorry.
we went from 1.3 to just a little over 1 million.
All right, hold on. That was the preliminary numbers for from January.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Nope. So actually, the new number,
Was higher than expected, or higher than it was.
so
prior.
Eric and I talked about this yesterday. She ran the numbers yesterday. So the new number for 2025, if you go to the telephone surcharge at the top.
Okay,
1,163,276.82.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
1,163,276.82. It's current as of yesterday morning.
So that's actually higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
We're not really sure why
Even
that
in
happened.
2019.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's higher.
I don't know
Well, that would have to
More cell
contribute.
phone?
I was gonna say more cell
I don't
phones.
know. So conversely, if you look at the net of revenue and expenditures in 2025, I think the handout I gave you was just showing a negative.
Yeah.
So
Negative 123.
but now it's actually positive. It's actually $143,134.26. So good. So.
And I contribute that to the increased revenue, but also the department's, reduction of expenses. They've been being very diligent to not overspend, so their fund balance can keep them afloat.
The authority board is on board with the 0.45.
So actually, the TAC had a meeting a couple weeks ago. They actually made a motion to support the 0.45. I would assume the authority would do the same.
Chairman, I got a thought, but it's interesting. I think this would be the 11th millage.
Yeah.
That's
So,
it. That's
for 11.
I think it's number 11, and we are in a position not knowing what we're going into 27 with 1.9 put in 26. You can see how Mike Hogan thought this well out. I can't remember the first millage, but it was to offset the financial burden of these services at a time when what are we running, 3.94?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Something like that has been that way forever.
That can't change.
Well, nobody wants to change. It's been tried. It's just an anomaly.
But I think you got to remember too, dispatch is totally self-funded. You guys are not giving any general fund money to it. And that's
All
what we're
these-
trying to avoid,
All these
right?
villages are, it goes to what, it goes to that purpose. It's just the point I was thinking about is the people have to decide.
Yep.
You know, animal control or mosquito or 911. I mean, that's what we do here is to set it to the people to decide. But I was just reflecting back on the number of villages. The fact that, yeah, we've got fully funded services, but we certainly don't know where we are. So would you do the same analysis for the county for?
And I don't know how you.
You would.
I don't know how you fix this. Like for the radio thing, I know the locals are all Stratford funding too, so they can't buy radios, but obviously we're using radios that are way past their useful life. It's like a cell phone. You're not gonna keep the cell phone for 10 years, but we've already done that on radios. just because of software and everything else. There's not even firmware upgrades for these radios anymore. They're done. They're turned off. That's first off.
Well, my
So the
comment,
radio will function until it dies and it's dead.
my comment wasn't to dissuade anyone on this. It was basically a reflection on current state. And it was a thought-provoking thought that I had, in the sense that another millage at a time when
It's not.
we're closing a school.
Right.
We're losing 3% of our population a year. I think BADAX is considering consolidating. It's just interesting time. But there's nothing we can do about it. It's set in
No,
motion.
this is kind of what we
It's
got.
up to the people. Residents who will pay. So which one of these are you proposing?
4.5.
4 or 5?
Yeah, like I said, the tech was the 0.45.
Okay.
And that's totally up to you guys what you want to do. Obviously, whatever, we would have to scale whatever we decide to do.
And even at that, the 0.45, that's just gonna keep your head above water.
No.
That's gonna get you right close. You're looking at $2 million.
That's for all of us.
Yeah, you do it.
We're not doing it now.
Okay.
4 year.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It'll be over a 4-year period.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And like I said, we're not really sure about that surcharge, why that went up in 25. I don't know if that's like an anomaly or what.
Chairman, may I?
Yeah.
So one thing is the Board of Commissioners could always go less. If the voters were to approve the 0.45 and the fund balance is increasing, right? The board can always approve a reduction, but you can't approve an increase.
Right.
The other thing is why, would you explain why we can't just increase the surcharge?
So I
Because
believe
that's
we-
been a question
we
in the
talked
past.
about that before, and that wasn't gonna generate enough to make
We
it
can-
enough.
You can request it too. to
But
do
yeah,
that.
that's a public vote as well.
Yeah.
And it wasn't gonna generate enough to do what we need to do.
So we felt that we didn't want to request both.
Right. I think
Right.
we just need to do.
One
This
or
is
the
what's
other.
gonna help us. at this point.
So we're not looking at requesting both right now. We're looking at just,
Yeah, leave the surcharge the way it is, and we'll do this.
So, Chairman, I'm
Yeah.
not sure, but wasn't the surcharge ceiling $3?
It is, yes.
That's mandated by the state.
Yes. At large state or feds, and probably feds.
We do have a prepared motion. However, if you're not ready for that motion, we can hold and discuss it at a later meeting.
Mr. Chair, I move the ballot language is recommended by corporate council to place a new special purpose millage for 911 central dispatch for a 4-year period be submitted to county clerk for inclusion on the August 2026 primary ballot for a public vote. Tuscola County 911 central dispatch millage proposal. That Tuscola County be authorized to levy upon taxable value of all properties subject to ad valorem taxation up to 0.45 mils. 0.45 per 1,000 of taxable value for a period of up to 4 years, 2026 through 2029, inclusive to be used exclusively for the funding of 911 emergency telephone call answering and dispatch services for Tuscola County, including facilities, equipment, personnel, maintenance, operating costs, on emergency telephone call answering and dispatch services to effectively provide and ensure 24-hour public safety communication services for the citizens, communities, and public safety responders of Tuscola County. If approved and levied in its entirety, this millage raises an estimated $1,078,785 in the first year that it is levied.
I'll support that.
it's been moved by Commissioner Cook, supported by Commissioner Newt. Move that the ballot language as recommended by corporate council to place that new special purpose millage for 911 central dispatch for a 4-year period be submitted to the county clerk for inclusion in the August 2026 primary ballot for public vote. Tuscola County 911 Central Dispatch another proposal shall Tuscola County be authorized to levy upon the taxable value of all property subject to involuntary taxation up to 0.45 mils for a 45 per 1,000 of taxable value for the period of up to 4 years, 2026 through 2029, inclusive be used exclusively for funding of 911 emergency telephone calls, answering and dispatch services for Tuscola County, including facility equipment, personnel maintenance, operating costs for 911 emergency telephone calls, answering dispatch services to effectively provide and share 24 hour public safety communication service for the citizens, communities, and the public service responders of Tuscola County. They have approved and levied in its entirety a million raises an estimate of $1,078,785 in the first year that it is levied. That is the motion. Any more discussion?
Chairman, does that have to be a roll call vote or not?
August, is August the best place for this or is November the best place?
I think August would be the best first crack at it.
So, maybe just something, if it doesn't pass in August, you can always put it back on it. Okay, roll call vote.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrios,
Yes.
Commissioner Bardwell,
Yes,
Commissioner Lutz.
Yes.
And Commissioner Vaughn.
Yes.
Proceed.
All right, thank you.
Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Number 2 on our old business is the amendment to the motion 2026-M-041 regarding the promotion of Vicky Crumby to full-time vacant position in the Register of Deeds office. Erica Dibble.
Good morning, Commissioners. As I mentioned on Monday, the motion did not include her rate of pay or title. So I'm just asking to have the motion updated. The effective date will not change, just merely clarification for the record.
Chair, I move to amend motion 2026-M-041 for the record. Move to approve register Marianne Brandon to promote Vicky Crumby to a vacant full-time position due to retirement in her office and advertise to fill the vacant part-time position with an effective date of March 2nd, 2026. Vicky Crumby's position will be account clerk 3 in the Register of Deeds office with wages set to step 1 rate of pay at $18.21 per hour.
Support. Been moved by Commissioner Cook, supported by Commissioner Lutz. To move to amend motion 2026-M-041 for the record, move to approve Register Miriam Brandt to promote Vicky Crumby to vacant full-time position due to retirement in her office and advertise to fill the vacant part-time position with an effective date of March 2nd, 2026. Vicky Crumby's position will be account clerk 3 in the Register of Deeds office with wages set to step 1 rate of pay at $18.12 per hour. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion is passed. Number 3, go back to the Tuscola County Advisory Council on Aging, senior dance.
I spoke with Christy from HDC, and she confirmed that this is a budgeted item. It is in our budget for 2026. And she confirmed it is a dance that is indeed on the budget already. There used to be 2 dinner dances for senior citizens. One was for senior citizens in facilities, and they bussed them in, and they would bus in high school students, and they would have this event at no cost to the senior citizens. This particular dance is open to the public, and they do charge a small ticket price for the seniors. So this is the same dance that we've approved in the past, and they do have funds available in 2026 budget. Christy from HDC did say she was possibly on the meeting today if we had a question. I don't see her, but if we have questions, we can ask if she's present online.
Mr. Chairman, just so you know, I got a hold of her too, and there's no waiting list as of right now for the meals. delivery meals.
Chairman, move to approve the request of 2,500 is budgeted for the annual senior dinner dance scheduled for September 17, 2026. With a recommendation from the Tuscola County Advisory Council on Aging.
Support.
I've been moved by Commissioner Barwell, supported by Commissioner Barris, move to approve the request of $2,500 is budgeted for the annual senior dinner dance scheduled for September 17, 2026. To the recommendation from the Tuscola County Advisory Council of Aging. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Number 4, opening controls all copies bid by Muller.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Erica and I reviewed the bids, spent 6 wonderful hours going through these, and we learned about internal finishers and offline staplers and
Convenient staplers.
convenient staplers. So we learned a lot that we didn't know, but
So you're gonna be a copy salesman?
I am not.
Okay.
I am not.
Not. I'll leave that to professionals. But we have determined that the low bidder is Conica Minolta. They are from, or at least the salesman's from Livonia, but they do have service centers around us, so they are somewhat local. We are recommending the state lease price of, for 60 months at $90.04. And there is a, what they call a click per copy rate, which is what they base their service agreement on. It's 0.32 cents for a color copy, and it's 0.006 cents for a black and white copy. And so you basically pay for what you use. In the bid, it was requested that we had a minimum of 1,200 black and white and 150 color. When I spoke to the salesman yesterday, he said that would equal about $16 a month, based on that usage on top of the 90. But it still brings them in as the low bidder. So that's what we are recommending for the copy.
Chairman, so if my numbers are right for Monday, it's 100, we're gonna lease this a month, right?
It's a month per month.
So 152.50 a month?
No, it's the 60-month lease from the state. Contract price is $90.04.
Okay,
And then if they stick within that number of copies that we had requested, another $16 on top of that.
okay, all right, got you.
And that amount, that service amount, that covers, that covers toner, staples, and service.
So the $5,402.40 does not include the per copy.
Correct, that is just the lease amount.
Okay.
Because the per copy, obviously, if
Oh, yeah,
there is a
varies.
month that it would
Right.
go, that we would use 1,400 black and white copies instead of 1,200, we would be charged that. In the same token, if we only use 600 black and white copies, we would be charged that. So the average, we did an average over the time, and we determined the 1,200 and the 150 was a good number to base our figures on.
And I believe, Erica, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Angie did find the current, and we will be saving money with this over our current.
Yes. Yes, we're currently paying 25 cents per copy for black and, or for color. And, oh, it's here somewhere. And 0.04 cents for black and white. So the 0.006 cents for black and white is what the new contract would be, and 0.032. So 23 cents savings, 20-some cents savings on color, and 3 cent savings on black and white, times the number of copies times months per year.
Chair, I move that per the recommendation of Mike Miller, Building and Ground and Recycling Director, to select the lowest bidder. And Autumn Minolta as a selected bidder for the controller administrator. Office copy and proceed with the 60-month state of Michigan FMV lease rate of $90.04 per month for total lease amount of $5,402.40 per copy fee-based maintenance service contract with rates of 0.032 per color copy and 0.006 per black and white copy to be billed monthly based upon the number of copies produced. Lease and maintenance service to be paid from line item number 101-265-932-000. All necessary signatures and budget amendments are authorized.
I'll support that.
So moved by Commissioner Cook, supported by Commissioner Lutz. To move to, for the recommendation of Mike Miller, Building and Ground Recycling Director, select the lowest bidder, Conica Minolta, as the select bidder for the control administrator's office copier and not proceed with the 60-month and to proceed with the 60-month state of Michigan FML lease rate of $90.04 per month for a total lease amount of $5,402.40 per copy fee-based maintenance service contract with a raise of 0.32 per color copy and 0.006 per black and white copy to be billed monthly based upon the number of copies produced. Lease and maintenance service to be paid from line item number 101-265-932-000. All necessary signatures and budget amendments are authorized. That is the motion. Any more discussion? Here none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, thank you.
6 hours.
They did not all, did them all the same. So some included other things. So we had to figure out monetary, how does that, tell me what it is and figure out what that means in a dollar format. So, but, that was on Mike's birthday. So we,
What a way to spend a birthday.
It's a great day.
Move on to number 5, discussion on control administrative position. I had Erica put this on the agenda today after a long extensive conversation with Erica and everything, moving into next month with some of the timelines that Erica gave us out what she wants to complete her jobs and bridging the gap basically till whoever we bring in next to get them up to date and everything. With all the stuff that she wants to get done and stick around, she wants to focus solely on finances. She wants to work with the auditors, make sure they get situated, make sure whoever would come and replace her is up to date on with notes and where we're left off and whatever. So therefore, Erica would like to solely focus on finances for the next month or so before she goes into any kind of part-time and stay full-time for the next month or so and adjust her pay accordingly to what she wants to do. And she has recommended to me, which I told her I bring it to the board to get some numbers together, whatever. She has recommended that if we'd be interested in appointing Mike Miller as interim administrator, why she focuses just on finances. That is a recommendation coming from what she would like to do, why she's here, and she thinks that's where she could be the best help. We have talked about what we would just Erica's pay to down 25% reduction in pay. We will step up pay to Mr. Miller for active administrator while we go through this transition. Erica's been pretty clear that she wants to start taking notes and taking that. Whoever comes in to replace her, she don't want them to have to do what she went through, started finding things, going deep dives into things. She wants to have it really organized or whoever steps in that chair next. And she wants to spend her time doing that the next couple of months while she's here. And that's why she would like to not do the administration part. She wants to focus just on the financial part of the county.
And the
with that,
more, the more financial, preparation we do prior to audit, the less costly the audit, in
and that's-
addition,
and that's
in addition
with the audit
to
being here too, right?
setting up SOPs and preparing everything for the next, control administrator.
So, more for discussion.
I
Do we
think,
have- do we
Go
have any type of, as I scroll through my Facebook account, different things pop up, and I think it's called Scribe. It's an automated,
There is a
Are you
fee
familiar?
associated with that. And so Scribe, I have used it at a prior company. It is based on the number of users. And so they do advertise it as free. However, it isn't really. However, it is a form of AI. So we would obviously need to involve, Ian for that.
Yeah.
However, my intent is some of the weekly, monthly, quarterly functions are already somewhat pulled together, but I just know where they are. So I need to make, a list. This is why you do it on the first of the month versus the end of the month, those types of things. So Scribe would help if I was doing a transaction on a computer, but some of it is physically, where is this housed? So I don't know if that's an option, but it's definitely something we could talk to IT about. I do have some figures for you if you'd like them, depending on your further discussion.
Well, it's more things, but I mean, I think it's a good idea. I think Mike is well versed with what goes on here. I think all the department heads respect Mike, look up to him. And it would be a good thing, and it would take you where you need to go for your remaining time here. To make sure we're focusing right on finances and what you want to really focus on, especially with the auditors being here. To make sure you get through the audit good, make sure everything goes that way. And that recommendation comes from that office over there. I'm looking for, guidance, but she's got some numbers down where she would be and what would consist of Mike stepping into that role as an interim administrator to figure out where we're at down the road. And I think it would be keep everything steady, everything going, and let that office focus on what you want to focus on, especially with the auditors being announced.
Mr. Chairman, myself, I think Mike would make a great intern. I think that would be a great idea. Can we give Erica more time to deal with numbers? That's my opinion.
Mr. Chairman. How are you with that, Mike? Are you good?
Yes, me and Erica have talked, and I'm completely on board with it.
Chairman, I would be the, nothing to do with Mike Miller. I think of all the responsibilities you already have, recycling, county, and there's probably a plethora of others. Chairman, I guess I would have thought in your role, maybe you already did, I probably would have considered the clerk, asking her first. That's traditional when counties, I'll say it's traditional, when counties have been in transitions before, they'll either appoint the clerk, intermediary, or if it's a financial, it'd be the treasurer to oversee. I'm just, in one sense of the word, I'm thinking of, apparently it's not a very large responsibility in terms of time. Because obviously we've heard that it is a consuming role. So I'm just concerned that perhaps it might be overwhelming at times or detract from what Mr. Miller's original job is and job duties. And that's why I suggested I would probably approach the clerk first. Maybe you did.
No, I didn't, because I never thought that the clerk would be involved in this decision anywhere. So no, it was just discussion with Erica, what she wanted to campus, why she was here, going next month, the auditors being here and discussing get with Mike, talk to Mike and Mike. If you're fine with the responsibility, which we talked about, I said, you guys put the numbers together, we'll take it to the board. You know, and I understand what you're saying too, Mr. Barber, about, you know, time consuming, but, you know, no, I didn't go check with the clerk on this at all.
Mr. Chair,
This is the board, this is the board.
I don't have a problem with Mr. Miller and an interim. My only question is if we do find somebody that's qualified to do both positions, comptroller administrator, which correct me if I'm wrong, that's what's advertised. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then we'll address the future. So this is just an interim. Okay, but if we don't find somebody, then this is something as a board we could consider longer than interim.
I mean, that's something we
I mean, I
can
just asked.
talk about down the road, you know, how things going. And if he done something with that, then we'd have to look at Mike's people and start adjusting there if it turned into anything longer than interim, but, you know.
Thank you.
Here's what I came up with. I'll give it to,
Give to Bill or Matt or,
well, I didn't know if you wanted to all see it
yeah.
before
Oh, I didn't want you to have there.
A, there's a motion, and B, that I calculated out a stipend for, Mr. Miller and 2 checks. I calculated out one way, showing if the role is really not 50-50, but it's just for easy math, splitting control administrator 50-50, and then giving a stipend of 50% of the administrator role to Mike Miller. That would be roughly $1,000 of pay. Or we could go with the previously calculated number. That is what they approved when Shelley was interim administrator. So I gave you both of those calculations.
Yeah.
Would you prefer it calculated differently, Mr.
Well,
Miller?
I'd rather just add the one option. That way it's confusing up here.
I'm
of What
sorry.
we're looking at, you know, and what we did with Shelley, I think would be what we should do with Mike, you know, the same way.
I see, because it's gone around, everybody's seen
You know,
it.
they haven't seen it out this way. I take it on this here, what we done with, Shelley was the, what number?
The 794.
Yeah,
Now, one could,
oh, okay,
you
proposal 2.
proposal to, and you could obviously round that to an even number if you'd like to, like you did with the dispatch interim director. However you'd like to do it. I just presented the math.
Right.
Mr. Chair, question.
Yeah.
Would, if we were to approve this, would Mike, where would you physically be if somebody needed you up here?
We talked about that too, you know, in part of our conversation, that was something like saying, so hey, let Mike get up here and talk here.
We haven't figured all of that out, but I would be in that office, and we've talked about maybe putting another desk in Erica's current office temporarily to meet the need, and then long-term, if you hire a control administrator, then, you know, I can revert back or whatever, but we'll figure it out.
We do have that table, right?
Right.
So with a laptop, you could just use the table. If we needed a desktop, we work through that. And some of my time would also be spent in other offices, like with Debbie, with Shelley,
Right.
you know, working on things collaboratively to build SOPs with them.
Right.
So I might not be in that office every day.
So on this paper, Erica, it's got 1 and 2 on here. You're saying 50% of the administrator only?
Correct. So the 1,059, 5769. So that's roughly 25, well, that is 25% of the controller administrator. Or option, proposal 2 is what we previously paid, an interim. So either one would still be budget neutral if I go down to the rate on that motion sheet. So I would go down and then even with the stipend, it would be net neutral or savings to the county for 1 month. And then when I go down to part-time, obviously it would be more savings to the county. And then obviously, once an control administrator is hired, I would no longer be needed. There might be a little transition time, a week, whatever, with the new person, but it's not going to stay on. Or my end date of end of May.
Mr. Chair, I move to the additional pay for Mike Miller, Buildings and Grounds, Recycling Director to full-time interim administration role be set at $1,057.69.
Roll call vote.
Support that.
It's been moved by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Cook. Move that the additional pay for Mike Miller, Building and Grounds Recycling Director be fulfilled at internal administrator set at $1,057.69. Additional pay effective 2028, 2026, remain effective to a full-time control administrators hired by roll call vote.
Commissioner Barrios,
Yes.
Commissioner Bardwell,
No,
Commissioner Lutz,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
and Commissioner Vaughn.
No. Motion passed. And the reason I voted no is because I wanted proposal 2. I thought that was a fair proposal, so Mike, nothing against, you know what I'm saying? To proposal 1, but. Okay,
There is a second motion.
oh, there's a second motion. Oh,
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the transition of Erica Dibble from controller administrator to full-time controller. This transition includes a pay reduction of $3,173.07 per pay period for the duration of February 28, 2026 through April 3rd, 2026. Additionally, approved transition to a part-time hourly rate effective April 4th, 2026. This role will be limited to a maximum of 2 days per week and will conclude on or before May 31st, 2026, or once a full-time controller administrator has been hired. Roll call vote.
Commissioner, may I say, reduction to, not reduction of?
I said of, I apologize. Reduction to 3,000.
Thank you.
Sorry about
I
that.
just want to make sure the record is clear.
Sorry.
I mean, I do enjoy numbers, but not to that
I'll
level.
support that.
it's been moved by Commissioner Cook, supported by Commissioner Lutz. The move to approve the transition of Erica Dibble from control administrator to full-time controller. This transition includes pay reduction to $3,173.07 per pay period for the duration February 28th to 2026 through from April 3rd, 2026. But this will approve the transition from the regular part-time hourly rate effective April 4th, 2026. This role will be limited to a maximum of 2 days per week, will conclude on or before May 31st, 2026, or once a full-time control administrator has been hired, and do it by roll call vote.
Commissioner Bardwell,
Yes,
Commissioner Lutz,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrios,
Yes.
and Commissioner Vaughn.
Yes. Motion has passed. That takes us through the old business.
Chairman, can I just get an update on something that's probably, well, it is under old business? Erica, what's the update on the response to the road commission attorney letter? And also ballot language? Can you just give us an update on where we're at on that?
I was gonna bring that.
Oh, sorry.
As the business is necessary,
Okay,
you know,
I apologize.
because we need to get that scheduled.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Chairman.
That's fine. Preston, but I didn't see it, but we need to discuss that, moving forward, so. Correspondence resolutions, anything in there that, anybody wants to touch on, it? Everybody read them over, or anything in there?
well, Chairman, item number 3, if you've briefed it, sort of clandestine in many ways. I thought it was, and I attended meetings. There's a lot of information behind each one of those sentences. And MAC is now producing minutes of their board meetings, which they'll forward to the counties. So that's the last meeting, the first time. They've done the minutes, but that is the last month's set of minutes. So if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to try to explain to them, but it was county borrowing, county funding.
And you mentioned 3, Fremont Township, was there something? Or did you mean
Yeah.
4?
Yes, there was a mention of Fremont. I don't have it up. But I can review it and report back on it.
Well, I was at that meeting where,
I thought you were.
Laser Market Technologies was there.
I thought you were.
Yeah, and you know, asking for a tax abatement. They're having 2 public hearings back to back, and his question was, you can't do it, but I think they're two different things that
Mhm.
they're not the same item. So they're not having like one public hearing for it, then 5 minutes after that, I'll have another one for it. So,
It's a little contention.
yeah, I don't think that would be the way to go, but they're looking for a tax abatement without a big expense, and they're trying to do out there. So, now let's go to the Commissioner Liaison report. Commissioner Bardwell.
Behavioral health meets tonight. DDA has a special meeting today related to policy versus related to where the market manager can be housed. Apparently there's a contract issue that was signed, but they didn't have the authority to sign it. Just ongoing. More to come with that. The rest of those will not be meeting until next month. That's all I have.
Mr. Barrios.
Yes, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update. At one of our last meetings, a gentleman came into the audience and indicated that there was going to be some construction on M46 and White Creek Road, and that traffic would be redirected down M53 to Snover, which is in Sanilac County. And then when it becomes Tuscola County, it turns into Bevins Road. So that traffic down in 46 will be diverted down 53, down Bevins Road. So I talked to the chairperson and asked, you know, if that was indeed the fact. And she said, MDOT rescheduled work on M46 at White Creek Road that was previously postponed. And she noted that traffic is projected to be rerouted between May and August to M53 down to Snover Road, which becomes Bevins Road in Tuscola County, and over to Herds Corner Road during this MDOT project. She also indicated that the road commission had contacted MDOT and asked them to verify that all necessary signage is in place at the intersections of Kingston and Bevins Road and Bevins Road and Herds Corner Road. Those intersections, Herds Corner and Bevins. And then if you split off and it's Herds Corner and Deckerville or Herds Corner and M46 are 3 of the 6 intersections that we identified as problematic. So I just wanted to share that with you. I did verify that that is indeed going to be a detour Great Start Collaborative met today, so I had this meeting. I was not able to attend. I attended the DHHS and Tuscola County Medical Care Facility programs on Tuesday. Tuscola County Medical Care, their cash on hand is strong at 181 days as of January 31st. They're scheduled for their 2025 financial audit on March the 9th. And their current occupancy is at 134 patients, and their goal is 135, so they're right up there. They just hired 6 day shift nurses, and that's unusual to hire in on day shift, but they did. Got some good candidates. Karen Southgate at DHHS, who oversees the 3-county area, that's Sand Lac, Huron, and Tuscola, will be retiring. May 5th is her retirement get together in the afternoon. She talked about workloads in their department have a tendency to escalate between October and now, and then they'll be trailing down and slowing up for the balance of the year. MAC Tourism, I sat in on a Zoom meeting for that. They had a very interesting group of people that spoke, and they were primarily dealing with trails, walking trails, and bike trails, which we just got some information not long ago that we have access to a parcel to pursue that. So we'll be talking about that at our Parks and Rec Commission. Saginaw Bay Coastal Initiative meeting was held at Bay City at the park. They just got funding and are in pursuit of scheduling and creating logos and communication materials for that particular group. I attended the Elmwood Township meeting, Elkland Township meeting, Cassidy Ambulance Service. I attended the Vassar Area Ambulance Service meeting as well. Fairgrove, I attended Fairgrove Village and Fairgrove Township meeting I went to, but they did not have a February meeting. They scheduled it for March. And Village of Cassidy. Village of Cassidy is pursuing 2 large grant opportunities at this time, one through Representative McLean's office and the other one through Senator Peters' office for some large project work that they're working on. And they're also in the midst of doing some painting for their mural for the 250th anniversary that's going to be put on the side of the municipal building. That's it for me.
Thank you. Board of Health about last week, but nothing really to report. I have nothing to report. Move on to Mr. Lutz.
Oh, this Commissioner Bonzo went to Board of Health. There's nothing really to report there. On the multi-county recycling, we had a good meeting. We're getting closer to a plan, which is good with different counties. And the other thing, we had McLean's office went ahead and brought back $18 million to the 9th district. Millington will receive $1 million for infrastructure. It was a team effort, and we're very excited about that. So been in contact with her office, and we're very grateful for her for that. So that's going to be a good thing for the village of Millington. And for the urgent care that's coming to Millington, we got an excavator setting up there. So we're getting closer to breaking ground up there. So that's very exciting. That's something else I've been working on. So other than that, that's all I got.
Where's the cook?
Nothing to share, sir.
Okay, moving to other businesses necessary. Like I said, I wanted to bring up the road commission for that's interest. Yeah, we did get the lady back for that. Okay, so I said we need to schedule 2 public hearings. I'd like to do that at the first part of April. I'd like to maybe like the first and second Wednesday night of April. Does that work for people? They do that 7 o'clock.
First Wednesday in April is April 1st.
Yeah, April 1st, maybe April 8th.
So April.
You said 7 o'clock? Sure.
Yeah, well, I would say it's PSB building.
Yeah, the first could work.
What do you think, Commissioner?
Well, unless I'm, boiling, I would attend.
You know, we can do the one on the first and then say they change by that, we still got time to do the other, but we gotta get these hearings done before we can get back down to.
Yeah, we have to have two, right?
You have to have two.
Yeah.
And I believe the language, if you want it in August, has to be approved by the first week of May.
Right, so that's why we went the first part of April, that way we're back and forth, but
So we'll do the first and the eighth.
let's plan on the first and the 8th of April at the PSB building at 7 PM, public hearings,
And the 8th, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay.
okay? And, we gotta do that, and we did hear back from, the last time, you know, we got the attorney, the letter from their attorney telling us all, you know, you can't do this, can't do that, so we reached out to our attorney, I instructed our attorney, send us back what we can do, not what we cannot do. You know, we've heard all that now. And she did send back what we can do, but there knows what's going into because it really doesn't help with the situation that's going on right now. You know, so that's why it is what it is at this point. We gotta have the public hearings, people, and we gotta put it up to the ballot, on the ballot. You get this taken care of. That's where we're at with it. So,
That's what I kind of figured. I just wanted to, thank
and,
you.
You know,
Thanks for that.
like I said, she did some, yeah, she says you control the paying, stop paying them, you know. You control policies. You can look at the policy and change policy. There's things you can do, but is it gonna help you with what's going on right now? No.
Did they,
Change nothing.
did they address how come they haven't brought their finances to us?
Their own business, they haven't. They just, you know, and again, yeah, we have financial oversight. That was one of the things kids.
Okay,
You requested, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Um,
sounds good.
but, so let's plan on the 1st and the 8th of April. Okay? And then if a lot of people show up, we'll just start with April Fools. And,
Uh-oh.
So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I am already reserving that room on the 8th at 7 p.m.
you already got it reserved? Let's do it on,
First, you're good, but the 8th, I have it already.
let's do it. Let's do it on the 15th then, if we can.
Okay, so April 15th.
Or we can do it till Tuesday. Wednesday's always a pretty good day where there ain't other meetings, but we can do it, on the 7th, on a Tuesday night, instead of Wednesday night. Let's do that. Get it away. Okay.
What do you want to do now?
Let's do it on the seventh.
On the 7th? Okay.
How
Unless you have.
I
The date
live-
good,
I'm
Steve?
I'm looking at the.
Unless you got that book too.
Somebody having a party there, though?
No, you're good on the 7th.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Well, it was gonna come up later, just like over here.
All right, let's do the
Thank you.
first and the
Thank you,
7th
Steve.
then.
The 1st and the 7th. All right.
Okay. Any more public comment? Yes.
Chairman Vaughn, members of the community. My name's Adam Tunis, and I serve as counsel for the Tuscola County Road Commission. My client has been conspicuously absent from your conversations about Hertz Corner and intersection safety, and I wanted to clear the air and explain why. I was contacted by the Road Commission several months ago when they started getting Freedom of Information Act requests from Billy Putman. Those requests sought, among other things, crash data, information about our traffic study, accident histories, etc. In my experience as an attorney, when somebody sends you requests like that and they've had family members involved in an accident, they're going to sue you. That's just as good as threatened litigation. And so it was that, but it was more than that. It was Billy Putman showing up to my client's meetings and demanding the installation of certain traffic control devices. It was Mr. Putnam telling my client, if you're not going to install these devices, I want a written statement from your attorney explaining why. That's another red flag. Folks want you to go on record so they can sue you. And then there's, of course, the Putnam family litigation history. They've sued the county before. So I told my client, do whatever you're going to do. You're doing your accident study, your safety evaluation. You should do that. You just can't talk about it. It's not responsible to talk about it. If you've been an attorney for 20 minutes or 20 years, It's irresponsible for your client to talk about circumstances where there is pending or threatened litigation. And so my client didn't. And it was very frustrating for them because there was a conversation happening here. There were folks standing at this podium insinuating bad things about my client, using their name in vain. And it is the human impulse to defend yourself. And they wanted to be here to defend themselves. And I forbade them from doing that. And so there was silence. Now, that was good legal advice, and I stand by that advice, but it wasn't fair to you because you're elected, my client's elected, and you had questions, and you're entitled to answers. You're entitled to that conversation. And so I want to apologize for that. If you're angry and upset that they're not here and they're not talking, please don't take it out. They want to be here. You can blame me, and I'm sorry. But it turns out that my advice was prescient because on January 26th, a month ago, my client was served with this. It's a statutory notice of intent to sue. In Michigan, if you're going to sue the government under certain circumstances, you have to notify that governmental agency in a certain period of time that you're going to sue them and state the basis of your claim. And you've got to identify everybody you're going to seek to hold accountable for that. And this is a notice filed by an attorney representing Billy Putman, members of the Putman family, the Putman estate, and they say they are going to sue because of the crash at Hertz Corner, Tuscola County, the Tuscola County Clerk, the Tuscola County Road Commission, Ellington Township, the Ellington Township Supervisor, and the Michigan Department of Transportation. And so my advice to my client in light of this is going to continue to be that they can't talk. And I understand that's frustrating for them, and it's probably frustrating for you, but it is sound legal advice. But I want everybody to know that even though my client's not here addressing the situation, its safety evaluation is underway. It's doing the study. It's consulting the manual on uniform traffic control devices, the data, the American Association of State Highway Transportation Officials. There's a lot of technical literature and guidance documents, and they're doing the math and they're doing the study. And whatever result that study says is an appropriate fix, they'll implement without fear or favor. They just want to make sure that it is a data-driven solution. And so with that, I appreciate the opportunity to appear here and clear the air. God bless each and every one of you. God bless Tuscola County.
You got any questions for?
Why aren't they bringing their financials to us?
Chairman Vaughn, I'm not prepared to answer questions consistent with my statement, but I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
I've got a question. You can stand there. Now, you have to evaluate the question after I ask it.
Fair.
I think the frustration, and all you said is no doubt true. I understand that. I think we all understand that you have a client. The frustration from the public is, data-driven study is basically the cliche is, how many tombstones will it take? The other side of that is, in public perception, like any crisis, private or governmental, the minimum, something for the public to recognize, yes, they're concerned, we're concerned, and that's why we did what we did, but just a mere putting out 2 red flags on a stop sign might have been perception enough for the public to understand, all right, they're going to do something. But you're right, the rhetoric back and forth, the publications on the rhetoric back and forth has not done anyone any real justice. But those two roads, I mean, obviously, and there's 6 been identified, became to the forefront of this board, which was never in my history, 20 plus years here, ever seen anything like this. So there's some of the frustration on the other side. And hopefully, as you laid out the timeline and very much understood, it's sad, but we just don't, I think the public, we don't want anybody else to get killed there. Or anywhere on those intersections, because they are highly traveled and rarely monitored in terms of speed and things of that nature for a lot of reasons. And that usually has to do with staffing. So I just wanted you to know, from my perspective, may not be the rest of the board, is that was a public perception. And we've had near misses there since then. So
Right.
hopefully we don't get any more.
I appreciate the feedback, Commissioner.
Well, thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more public comment?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
If you didn't realize, I'm William Everett Putnam third. Surprise, surprise. I just want to say thank you. I like the directions everything's going. Public sentiment is the same way. I watched the State of the Union this Tuesday, and I think our president said it the best. He asked Congress to stand up if you were here to support America first. And some people did, and some people didn't. And so when our government takes a step to protect our citizens, that should be applauded. And when our government fails us, that should be looked at, scrutinized, and either made better or removed and replaced. And I think that's what's going on here. You know, I hate to see the way this has gone and how it's gotten where it is, but we're just asking for answers, and our questions are not being answered. I still would like to know how long a study takes. To the best of my knowledge, I heard 7 years.
That's why I keep.
I have questions, and I would just like answers, just like any other civilian here in Tuscola County. So with that being said, unfortunately, this is the direction we have to go. But as representatives, the road commission board, as representatives of our community, they should do better to protect us in any avenue they can, just like the sheriff's department, just like the state police, just like you guys are doing, and to make best efforts to doing that. So without further ado, thank you guys, and whatever we can do to help with the months to come will be to help. So thank you.
Public hearing on the 1st and 7th.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else want to address the board this morning? Anybody virtual want to address the board this morning? Anybody here? No. Tracy, see anybody? Let the record show there that we did offer public comment. We had 2 participants. And with that, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
So moved by Commissioner Lewis, supported by Commissioner Barrios for adjourn the committee meeting this morning. You know what? When we come out of, I forgot to do a roll call for that. So we're still in roll.
Do you have to go back?
You know, technically we're still in closed session, but I ain't telling nobody. We'll adjourn this meeting. I can't believe somebody didn't catch me on that.
You're like virtual anymore.
Yeah, that's true. She didn't call me on that. With that, we're gonna open up on the statutory finance part of the meeting. And with that, let's do a roll call.
Commissioner Barrios? Here. Commissioner Bardwell?
Here.
Commissioner Vaughn?
Here.
Commissioner Lutz?
Here.
Commissioner Cook?
Here.
We have
So-
a quorum, you may
So
proceed.
enthused there.
Action on previous meeting minutes.
The chair, I make the motion to approve an action on previous meeting minutes, statutory finance, February 12th, 2026.
Support.
So moved by Commissioner Cook, supported by Commissioner Lutz, to take action on the previous meeting minutes, statutory finance, the 12th of February, 2026. Any more discussion? Here, none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Has been approved. Move on to new business. Review and approval of the finance report and checks.
Mr. Chair, review and approve the financial reports and checks 2/26/26 of financial docket.
Support.
So moved by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Cook, to approve the finance report and checks from 2026 financial docket. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion has been approved. Review and approval of the daily report and checks.
Chair, I make a motion to review and approval of daily report checks 2/26/26 daily docket.
Support.
So moved by Commissioner Cook, supported by Commissioner Lutz. Review and approval of the daily report and checks of 2026 daily docket. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Well, those approved. Review and approval of the per diem report and checks.
Mr. Chair, review and approve of the per diems, reports and checks, February 2026 per diems.
Support.
Been moved by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Barros, to approve the per diem report and checks of February 2026 per diems. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion is passed. I don't see nothing on the old business. Public comments. Anybody want a public comment on the statutory finance part of the meeting this morning? Anybody want a public comment on the statutory finance part of the meeting this morning? Not seeing or hearing any public comment. Let the record show the public comment was offered, please. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
The move by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Barrows, to adjourn the statutory finance part of the meeting this morning. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting has been adjourned.